This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, we're back, and we're here with your AEW Dynamite review for November 1st. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to do your review. We're going to be right back after this. Oh, you know it. We are back. We are back for November 1st. It's Dynamite. It's another month. Almost done. Well, we're done with October. It is now November. We got a couple more months. And what a month this is going to be. Lots of stuff going on here for November. But welcome to the AEW Value Wrestling. I'm hearing my own echo on my stupid show. See, I'm listening to my change that. Welcome to the Value of Wrestling. This is your AEW Dynamite review. I got it right. You know who I am. I'm the one. I'm the only big time. You know. And of course, joining me tonight, the one, the only. Paulus Clarke. Oh, yes. We are here. If you're out there in the chat, thank you for joining us. Let us know that you can hear us and everything sounds beautiful. Right, Mr. Clarke?
Absolutely.
All right. So tonight was Dynamite, the first Dynamite of November. And here we are. We had coming into this, we knew MJF was going to get 3 mystery partners to go up against Bullet Club. If he won, he was supposed to get his belt back. How did that all play up? Well, you know, Orange Cassidy defended his international title against Claudio Castagnoli. The Ring of Honor 6-man belts were on the line. That was announced earlier today by Prince Nana. The Mogul Embassy to take on Hangman Page and the Young Bucks, the Elite. And that set up the women's title was on the line as Sheeta defended her title for the 3rd time in 7 days against One Will Nightingale. This was everything we knew going into the show. Oh, and of course, Tony's big announcement. So everybody was hyped. Everybody was ready. It was looking like it was very interesting. Mr. Clarke, how did you feel going into tonight's show? What did you think about everything leading up to the show?
You know it's Dynamite. You know it's AEW. So you know your worst case scenario, it's going to have good wrestling. And watching Tony Khan's booking, well, you always have to tune in to find out if it's going to be good or what.
Isn't that the damn truth? Anyways, let's get into the opening. So we opened the show with MJF with Renee. She's asking what his plans are. Does he have anybody? And MJF is excited because he has Adam Cole on the TV call, the phone call here, the video chat, whatever it was. And, of course, we got Adam Cole on a TV screen here. Some of the audio in this moment was a little off. I don't get why they have off audio. I mean, for us who are small timers, I can get why we might have off audio, but you know. Anyway, so Adam Cole was on the TV looking like he was getting ready to play Santa Claus, or I don't know. He looked old with that scruffy beard, but hey, each his own, you know. Not everybody can pull off the look. Eventually, the Kingdom, along with Roderick Strong, came in, calling Adam, and of course, Cole told MJF to go to use Samoa Joe to take Samoa Joe's on his offer, but then eventually Roderick Strong and the Kingdom walked in and were calling out Adam and had a brief talk before Adam hung up on them, and they rolled off of the screen. Roderick Strong asking Cole, "Don't you think he's the devil?" You know, so leading speculation, a lot of speculation on who possibly the devil is, but that was the opening. Then we got to the opening contest for tonight, we had the AEW International Championship match. It was Orange Cassidy defending his title against Claudio Castagnoli. Really good match. What you expect between Orange Cassidy and Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio Castagnoli looked strong throughout this match, telling the story that Orange Cassidy was fighting up from underneath. It took everything. At one point, Claudio got Orange Cassidy outside, and Wheeler Yuta was yelling at Orange Cassidy, which then brought down Hook, and then the ref threw them both out of ringside, told them both to go back. But we got a good solid match between both Orange Cassidy and Claudio Castagnoli, really leading to the fact that you thought Claudio was going to win this one because Orange Cassidy was having a fight from up underneath the whole time. Eventually, we get what looks like we get a spin on the shoulders, a DDT, a cover, that was a no, and then we get the orange pup no. Basically, some type of Haruna Karana where he rolls him over, he pins him, he holds all his weight down, and Orange Cassidy gets to win at 17 minutes, 5 seconds. Claudio gets back up. He's not very happy. Orange Cassidy is outside the ring with his title, laying on the ground, pretty much worn out, and then we get Wild Thing through the PA, Wild Thing pouring out through the speakers, and here comes Jon Moxley out through the crowd. He climbs in the ring as Claudio is just staring down Orange Cassidy, hanging over the top rope, doesn't even look back to acknowledge Moxley. Orange Cassidy finally gets on his feet and for whatever dumb reason jumps up, runs in, tries to tackle down Moxley. They get into a fight, back and forth, couple kicks there. Some kind of missed a little bit, a little disappointing in there, but they went back and forth until basically Moxley just beat the snot out of, just left Orange Cassidy laying in the middle of the ring. I mean, it was just a beatdown of all beatdowns. He even tried to bite him. Eventually, Claudio had to pull Moxley off. Moxley rolled out of the ring and walked away, and so did Claudio Castagnoli, and that pretty much summed up that opening match. I thought this was a really good match. It's what you expect between Orange Cassidy and Claudio Castagnoli in this type of environment. Jon Moxley is continuing the feud. We know they're going to fight at Full Gear. This was the whole plan all along. It looks like Moxley is cleared to wrestle again. Otherwise, the match was solid. It kind of adds into the storyline. I don't know. I mean, Orange Cassidy being the international champion has been great. He's over. He's a talent. I just think something new is in play. Hopefully that this does end at Full Gear so we can move Orange Cassidy onto another storyline, Moxley into something else, and maybe hopefully get this international title on somebody else who can kind of get the rub that Orange Cassidy's built for this title onto them and maybe bring somebody else up to fit in that role. But overall, solid match, what you expect from him. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on the opening match for tonight?
They sold me a ticket that maybe Claudio, they might, we knew the story was with Moxley, but just because of the back and forth between Orange Cassidy and Castagnoli, it's like, the belt might go over there. You never know. But in the end, Orange Cassidy pulled out the victory. And then when Moxley comes out, and you're just seeing him just smack Cassidy around, and Claudio Castagnoli just kind of like, just hanging on the ropes. He knows what's going down. He doesn't give a shit. You know? Paying no mind, just letting John do his thing.
Yep.
It was kind of, in a perverse way, kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
La 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 la. But,
no, it was definitely a beatdown, and you saw what that is. It's continuing the story. It did what it needed to do. I think Claudio and Orange Cassidy had a great match, so and both got to come out looking strong. So that was a huge plus. From there, we're backstage. MJF is at Kenny Omega's door. There was a lot of talk that MJF was going to use Omega and the Bucks as his mystery partners, but then we had Omega tagging up with Jericho to take on the 4 members of the Jericho Appreciation Society, and then it was later announced that the Ring of Honor 6-man titles were going to be on the line, so the Young Bucks were already in the match, so I didn't really see him doing double duty. But anyways, we're at the door of Kenny Omega. MJF knocks, and Chris Jericho opens it, and they have a stare down, Jericho and MJF. Eventually, MJF asks if Kenny's there, and Jericho just slams the door in his face. MJF gets pissed off and starts walking away when he's slammed up against the wall and held up there by Wardlow. Why? Because Wardlow feels like, oh, you took everything from me. I don't know how that, I don't know. Anyways, so Wardlow says MJF took everything from him, so he's going to take everything from MJF when he least expects it. MJF then broke his clipboard, slapping it down as Wardlow walks away. And then here are the Acclaimed around the corner, sending 2 fingers out, saying, pick us, pick us. And yeah, that is what we got here. It was a segment. I knew it wasn't probably going to be Omega in this sense. This set up what the storyline was going to be for most of the night. The Wardlow thing, I don't really care for because I'm not, Wardlow hasn't done anything to feel like he should be chasing Max. They're trying to they're trying to push a storyline to make it make sense. And I'm just like, he's the last person I think that should be in line for it. So when I see Wardlow push him up against the wall to try, it doesn't do anything for me, unfortunately. I'm just not into it, so it doesn't do anything for me. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on?
At this point, how did Max take everything away? When they were doing the original feud, he beat Max, fair and square. The only person who's taking anything from him is Samoa Joe. I don't see him, trying to fuck with Joe no more.
Yeah, no, like he was a TNT champion, lost it, won it, lost it. I don't know, and I don't know how MJF played the role and cost him in anything. So to me, and he hasn't been on TV forever. And then he comes back. He's had 3 squash matches, real quick squash matches that don't do anything. For me, it's just like, okay, I'm supposed to buy into a guy who hasn't been around, and now you want me to feel like he deserves a title shot. It doesn't do anything for me. You haven't built this guy up right again. He's been gone for too long. And we're not really hearing the chants for Wardlow anymore. So, I mean, it is what it is.
And anyway, if he does get a match, he's probably just going to be fed to MJF anyway. So it's like,
yeah.
What's the point?
The only viable threats to MJF right now feel like maybe possibly Jay White. They're telling a story. Doubt it, but could be. Samoa Joe is probably his biggest threat, but I'm assuming that the title is going to go to Adam Cole when he gets healed. I hope this isn't where we get MJF as a babyface and Adam Cole as a heel. MJF as a babyface, a tweener playing face, but still playing heel is better fitted. But well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, we're backstage with Moxley. Moxley says Phoenix kamikaze him, and he went down for the 3, and then Orange Cassidy was able to take out Phoenix and basically gave this whole speech about he's not done with Orange Cassidy. You took what it was, Moxley basically saying, you took my spot, that should have been mine. And so we know at Full Gear, Orange Cassidy and Moxley are going to meet. Moxley's basically going to beat him within an inch of his life with his bare hands. Good promo by Moxley here. I don't know if I can necessarily get excited, but, it is what it is. We'll see how it plays out. It'll be a good match. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I don't always look at the people. I don't look at the talent that are wrestling in the ring as being necessarily if it's going to be good or bad. A lot of the times, if I feel like the storyline isn't being booked properly or there's not enough of a storyline or it just doesn't make sense, I'm not really going to be invested in it. But when it comes down to a match, Moxley and Orange Cassidy can bring us one damn good of a match. Yes, Dave.
Wow.
MJF's awesome, and yeah, I can see Karrion Kross in AEW. It would be an interesting add-on to the AEW roster. I don't know if he'd get lost in some of this right now, but he could be a definitely good fit in AEW if he was able to get over there.
There's been some rumors that they're going to be rebuilding them in the coming year.
Yeah, he's supposed to be getting a new push in WWE. Anyways, we got the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team match, the Mogul Embassy versus the Elite. This was a decent match. It started off hot when everybody was in the ring. A lot of back and forth, a lot of the flippy-floppy stuff that we know the Bucks do. Over the top ropes, dives, this and that. It was a good, solid match. The Elite looked strong coming into it. The Bucks and the Elite looked good coming into this match. Then eventually, we had Swerve Strickland and Nana come down to the ring and taunt Page. Page was the legal man. He walked over, I think, to Nick and tagged Nick, and he left the ring and chased off after Prince Nana and Swerve. And that left the Bucks alone with the rest of the Mogul Embassy, who pretty much proceeded to beat the two boys down, and just a solid beat down. Eventually, we get a pin, and the Mogul Embassy are now, again, your Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions. I thought the match was good up to the point. It was a 7-minute, 55-second match. I thought the match was good up to where Hangman walked out. I thought it was stupid of Hangman to walk out. I get you're mad at Swerve and what he did last week, but it was kind of, it just makes Hangman, I don't know. It didn't help anything. And then the Bucks just got tore up, and then the titles go back. Hot shotting titles back and forth like this, it is what it is. I guess it's been a little while since that. I think it was All In that they won those titles, if I'm correct. I forget. I have to go back in some time and look. So,
Yeah.
Mogul Embassy win. Decent match. It was 7 minutes, 55 seconds. But, Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
I don't know if I can even sum it up any better than you have. It's like, it was a good match, but like I said, when Hangman decided to go out, it's like, what are you doing, dude? You're going to leave your boys hanging like that, really?
Yeah.
All for someone who you know you're going to get your hands on at Full Gear. Like, it made him feel stupid.
No, it did. And that's just kind of the disappointment there.
I mean, on one hand, I guess it kind of slightly protects the Young Bucks because it's like, okay, it was 3-on-2 since Hangman decided to take off. So it's not like they got beat clean in the same sense.
Yeah. No, Dave Cross is great. Even when he was in Impact or TNA, as Killer Cross. I guess it was Impact while he was there. I don't think it was TNA while he was there. No, he was great, and he's great. When they let him do his thing, he's great. Unfortunately, WWE hasn't let him really shine yet, hopefully under Triple H administration. And Miguel, yes, I understand. When you have that many titles in the company, what can you do but to pop potato them around? So, or defend them multiple times a week. Backstage, as that match ends, we wind up backstage where Paige and Strickland have come together, security are breaking them up, and then Matt Jackson rolls out of the ring and flips the timekeeper's table, slams a chair, beats a chair against the post. Matt Jackson all pissy because they lost, which I guess gets addressed a little bit later. Mr. Clarke, I see you have a thought on your mind, but are we jumping the gun, or do you have something?
No, yeah, I wanted to add to that. That reminded me of shades of Crybaby WCW Chris Jericho. Just having
True.
Wow. Taking that chair and just whacking the corner.
Does this mean we can get Ralphus back?
What damn callback. What a bloody callback.
Miguel, if you put that out there in you know what, Miguel? For that statement.
Yeah!
Hey, man, it's going to go back to Sad Drunk Cowboy. We don't need Sad Drunk Cowboy story.
No.
I don't need that again. Anyways, we do thank you for joining us in the chat. Keep those chats coming in. Be a part of the conversation here on our on the Value of Wrestling review show. We always appreciate it.
You were fired before you could quit.
You'll be back by Sunday. Don't worry. It's all good. Anyways, MJF backstage, and now he looks like he's going to knock on Samoa Joe's door, but then he goes against it. And he walks down, he finds Darby Allin's door, and he takes Darby Allin's sign down. Of course, I guess they just started putting signs up on doors because ones looked like locker rooms, but Darby Allin had the double doors like it was a hallway. And I'm like, this don't make sense. But anyway, she takes Darby Allin's signs down, scratches out Darby Allin's name, and says emo. He calls him an emo. So we get that, and then he turns around, and there's the Acclaimed again with a sign that says "Pick Us," and MJF's like, "No." All right. Anyways, from there we have Tony Schiavone in the ring, and we get Adam Copeland coming down. He talks about Sting getting in his face last week. He talks about how good, how he respects Sting, how he respects Darby Allin, how he's the linchpin of the company, a foundation of the industry. He's the future, and if we don't know that, then we're dumb, basically. From there, he's talking about, am I going to team up with Sting and Darby Allin? We get Christian's music. Here's Christian and Luchasaurus. Cage basically tells Adam Copeland, if you do it, I'm going to snap your neck. And then he sends his boys to go attack Adam Copeland. Out comes Sting, and then Sting barely gets to the ring, and Darby Allin comes flying out of wherever he came flying out of. I don't know. And they all get into it. Christian Cage is in the ring. Adam Copeland's in the corner, and Tony Khan messed this completely up because he allowed Copeland to spear Cage in the middle of the ring. They got the touch. It was the wrong answer to this. Adam Copeland got on the mic and said, "You want to snap my neck? I'm going to beat your butt." And that was that. And that was that. To me, that was a total fail. These two men should not have touched for a much longer period. They shouldn't even touch at Full Gear. You could have had this match, not let them touch. You could have gone a long time letting this story fester without these two touching, and now I think you've thrown it out the door because you already got the spear. It's just like, okay, I think you could have done more with this for a while longer.
Well, if you thought that was a disappointment, the next statement was an even bigger disappointment. All the hype that was surrounding the big announcement.
Well,
Ooh.
Your feelings on the confrontation between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage and this match that we knew was coming, but
We've been talking about it off air for a while now, and it's just like,
well,
I'm with you as far as Adam Copeland and Christian Cage.
We had a whole full discussion when this first started on air about how they do not need to touch. Don't let them touch for any reason. They do not need to touch until they have a singles match, which is down the road. They can get in this tag team, but that is your build. That is your build to get the excitement.
It makes you wonder, is Tony Khan a virgin? Does he not understand the concept of anticipation?
I think the internet is where he gets his admiration. If you go read his X feed, Twitter, whatever we call it these days, you can see, Tony Khan's cooking. Tony Khan's cooking. He's setting up a banger. He's cooking. Everybody's telling me Tony Khan's cooking. I'm cooking. I'm like, I don't know what he's cooking, but it's not smelling that great because he does stuff like this. And it's just like, you wasted an opportunity. They should have not touched unless it was on a pay-per-view. Firstly, it shouldn't have mattered. If you're going to build this match, you could have had them touch at a Full Gear. It wouldn't have been the best time, but you could at least save them touching till a pay-per-view. You want to see that happen at a pay-per-view. Get paid for it. But I mean, I could have continued them going until Revolution, at least, if not a little further along. You would have had the tag match, and then you would have set the match for them to go one-on-one for that title. Not necessarily needing the title, but if you wanted to use the title as a catalyst for Copeland to say, I'm going to take your title away with you just to punish you, and then you have them touch. But you could have continued for a very long time without having these two touch and build the anticipation. Have you seen this on camera? Have we seen what
this man on camera?
Seen
Talking
this
about
man?
Tony.
Oh, well, okay. Anyways, yes, we got to see Tony on camera tonight. That's the next segment. Anyways, I think you could have gone a while longer. Anyways, yes, the big announcement that Tony Khan told us. It was so great. He tweeted about it so many freaking times. Talked about it. A big announcement. What did we get? He brings up Wimbledon and Christmas trees. Yes, he tells people that they can buy tickets to next year's All In on August 25th, 2024. You can buy tickets because the pre-sale happens on December 1st. So you can buy tickets for All In next August. And that was the big announcement. That was what was supposed to get hyped because Wimbledon was the greatest wrestling show of all times. Tony Khan did the unthinkable, the unmagical, the holy thing of wrestling, and he will never be touched, which I don't think he wants to keep poking the bear because there are people that are going to sit there and go, okay, hold my coffee, and then they're going to find a venue that they can outsell, and they will do whatever it takes to outsell that. So I think Tony needs to leave this alone. This is a horrible announcement. It didn't do anything. Nobody cares in any sense. I know people care about All In. You know, I know people want to see All In. They want to go to All In. People are excited about All In next year. But nobody cares about it right now because it's so freaking far away. It's like, it's not on our minds. Yes, we want to be there. We want to see it. And yes, I know you got to sell tickets early. But again, it's like, this is your big announcement. You couldn't just make the announcement when you were making, there's an announcement, come watch my show. And this is what's going to hurt Tony Khan in the long run. It's these horrible announcements, these bad debuts, these bad things he sets up so many more times than not. Every once in a while, he'll hit it on the head. But most of the time, he craps the bed.
Yeah. Good Lord. The fact that he's the Amber Heard of the professional wrestling world.
Anyways, we're in the ring with Jake Hager, Angelo Parker, and Matt Menard. Here comes Jericho out by himself to his music, and then here comes Chris Jericho out to his music. And so we have Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, the former members of JS, against... He might do I thought he was going to do 2-for-1 sales. I thought he was about to say that during this preview. Like, we're going to have a special. I thought he was going to do it for a minute. But anyways, we have Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, the former members of JS, against the Golden Jets. Yes, you heard me exactly, people. The Golden Jets of Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Eventually, I think it was Matt Menard who took the Judas effect and got pinned for the 1-2-3. This match lasted 6 minutes. Don Callis and the family, which consisted of Powerhouse Hobbs, Takeshna, and Kyle Fletcher, stood behind the announce table. Don Callis was on announcing. They then walked out, and Don Callis called Omega and Jericho cockroaches. He says that they maybe need to take it up a notch, and they're going to have a street fight. And Omega takes offense to being called a dummy. Kenny says he'd hate to be a stupid head. If Callis wants a street fight, that's okay. And Omega says they have their partner in Ibushi. Sorry. So Kota Ibushi is going to be their partner, and Don Callis goes, "No, dummy, you don't have the mask, so it's going to be a 4-on-4." And this is when we get the big drop that Jericho's bigger friend is going to be here, and we get at least Paul White. We didn't get Captain Insano, but we got Paul White coming out looking old. And yeah, so he's going to team up with the Golden Jets and Ibushi against the Don Callis family, which I guess is going to be Kyle Fletcher, Takeshna, Powerhouse Hobbs, and I guess Sammy Guevara. I don't know. There's, Will Ospreay might show up. I hope not. I don't know if I want to see Will Ospreay and Paul White in a ring together for any reason. Some people might enjoy this, seeing Paul White back in the ring. To me, it's just like, what else does he have left to do? It just doesn't feel like it needs to be. But I'm not the Booker man. So, Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
I don't even know where to go with this. I can see the general interest. Like I said, for the casual fans, I've seen Paul White come back for a match or so. I can also see the same argument of why, like you said, what does he have left to prove? What's he really going to add to?
Oh, yeah.
I kind of wish they would use him more in the commentator role, because I love his self-deprecating humor. So it's like there are times, like when they had Elevation and Dark around, when Mark Henry and Paul White would do commentary together. Like sometimes I thought that was just some of the most hilarious stuff they would come up with while watching great, in-ring action. But that's not where we are at the moment. So I guess we see what happens at Full Gear and go from there.
Well, no, it's not Full Gear. It's Dynamite. 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from this Dynamite, we're going to get this street fight. So it's not even a Full Gear match. It's on a Dynamite. Yes, you're wasting a pay-per-view S match for a TV show with some of the names you're using. Yes. So we're going to start calling Kenny Omega no pay-per-view Omega, and he's just going to do TV show matches, right? Anyways. So we come back for commercial break. We are in the locker room with Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. And they're Renee Young, I think, is talking to him, and there's the Bucks standing in the background. And then Matt Jackson kind of gets pissed off and going, "What's the point if with Hangman running away, you're teaming up with Jericho? Why is Jericho even in here? He's not happy that Jericho's even in their locker room. Love Chris or hate Chris, or Omega says love or hate Chris. He's aligned with him because my enemy, the enemy of my friends is my friend." Type of sentiment.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend mentality.
Yeah, and then Matt Jackson says, "Fine, whatever. Just make sure or enjoy the locker room. Just make sure you clean up after yourself." Anything you want to add to that, sir?
I mean, it depends on where are we going with the Young Bucks? What are they doing? What's their story? I kind of like the fact that they're doing something with Matt Jackson, whether that's him solo, whether that's the Young Bucks. They're at least starting to do something with him, but we'll have to see where it heads to see if it's any good.
I didn't think the Young Bucks ever wanted to do anything singles unless they were injured, so I don't know. Nick kind of looks confused what his brother's doing, and I'm kind of
I meant by story basis, not by matches.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. Anyways, we got into the AEW Women's Championship match, Will Nightingale versus Hikaru Shida, and for the third time in 7 days, Shida has defended the AEW Women's Championship. So if you wanted more Women's Championship matches, congratulations. If you're getting tired of it, like some of us are, you're kind of like, yay. And then she's going to defend it at, And then the whole thing is, well, Toni Storm's supposed to face Shida if Shida can make it to, and it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm over it. Anyways, good match. Again, this is another thing. I'm not taking away from the two talent in the ring. Shida and Will Nightingale gave us a good match, a good solid match. It was a match. Of course, Will Nightingale wasn't wearing the paint on her one eye, so she's miraculously healed from the magic mist that's supposed to be all powerful and all controlling or whatever it is. Eventually, Shida gets the win. It was a good match. Of course, as Sheeta's celebrating her win, shaking her hand with Will Nightingale, here comes Toni Storm, parading around and her over, I don't know. And I know people like Toni Storm. She's good talent in the ring. Some of this gets a little over the top, but this is the time at least Sheeta goes up and attacks her, nails her with the knee. And then the lights go out. Here's Julia Hart. She's behind Will Nightingale. Will Nightingale slowly turns around and stares down Julia Hart. Julia Hart sends her hand, but before Will Nightingale can do anything, here is Sky Blue. Sky Blue stands face to face with Julia Hart, and then she turns to face Will Nightingale, and Will Nightingale's like, okay. And, of course, Sky Blue still has her eyes both covered. But then Sky Blue turns around and plays blue mist into the face of Julia Hart, and, yeah, that's it. So, without warning or really understanding, after last week when they had on 2 shows, they sold this whole mist thing and this whole thing about the mist. This week, they're all healed and beyond the power of the control, and Sky Blue's spitting her own blue mist. So I guess we're going to get Sky Blue and Julia Hart in the match, which is awesome. That'll be a great thing to watch. Whether it's a great match or not, it'll just be a great thing to watch. But I'm kind of like, you want to start a storyline, but then you just cut it off at the ankles, and then it doesn't make sense. And you wonder why talent isn't happy in AEW. Why there's news and rumors, speculation going around that Tony Khan protects everything, and everybody only knows what's going on that week for that week. And, I understand you don't want your stuff getting out to the dirt sheets. But at some point, you got to stand up and be daddy instead of being everybody's best freaking friend, Tony Khan. This isn't eWrestlingFed.com. This isn't, 2K24, 23, whatever, Raw versus SmackDown, whatever video game you played back in the day where you played Magic Booker. This is life. You're a boss. Act like a boss. And if you got to fire somebody because they can't play by the rules that you set, that's on them. Anyways, your thought on this match and everything else from the fallout after it.
I just don't seem to have anything really to add tonight. Like it is, because a lot of Tony Khan's booking tonight, it's like, and the past several episodes of everything, it's like it is what it is. So I enjoy Willow Nightingale. I enjoy her work in general. I enjoy the fact that she is a face character that's so bubbly.
Yeah,
I liked Hikaru Shida in her work, but what I don't understand is why they kind of had the payoff to Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue not turning on each other here on TV. It's like, if that was more or less the reveal, why not end that at a pay-per-view? I don't understand these TV finishes for everything. Here and there, yes, because you want to have good shows. But not every show is going to be good. Some shows are just meant to be built to the next. And I'm just failing to understand Tony Khan's perspective on this, just based on his results.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to question one thing, though. You're saying that Toni Storm's kind of a bit over top for you. Well, let me ask you this. Would you rather her current character work, or the work she was doing when she was with the Outcasts?
I don't necessarily mind some of her new character. It's just her and the way she comes flailing down the ring with all this. It's a little, what is she doing to make me feel like she's a threat to Shida, who's defending her title on every freaking show? That's kind of where I'm like, okay, you want me to think, and I totally assume Toni Storm's going to beat Shida back for the title. This is just where I believe it's leading. But I don't feel like they've done anything to make Toni Storm look like a threat to Hikaru Shida. They just have her running down the apron and doing these things and pulling oranges out of her underwear or her back pants. I don't know. Just, it's stuff that's like, I get what this character is in a sense, but it's also like, you still got to make this character feel like something of a threat to Hikaru Shida, not just like an annoyance. Like, Shida just looks like she's freaking annoyed, which I get, and you want to go beat her butt, but that's fine. But I'm like, if Tony Storm's character is supposed to be something special, and they've got a good storyline here and they can build it, but I mean, she needs to get in the match. She needs to feel like she's a threat in some sense, other than just being a total loon basket. I get the character, but it's just like it's missing a little something for me.
I can understand that, and I understand that you're right. She doesn't look like that because she hasn't really wrestled.
No.
The point that they've been just based on the results is they've been putting over this character. She's a diva. She's a starlet, whatever you want to call her. Old Hollywood, So why they haven't put her in more matches? If she's a diva, why not put her in a 2-minute match and just
Oh yeah.
At least that would do something.
Or at least give me something. I mean, she could pull off what I didn't necessarily like in WWE with Eva Marie, but I mean, she could get in the match and then something happened where it would fit her character though, but at least do something more than just this weird. I don't know. Anyways, I see we had several viewers in the chat. If you are here, or we had several viewers. If you are here, feel free to jump in the chat. I'm hoping we're still live. My YouTube thing went down, so I don't know what we're looking at. Oh, it's still ticking. Tell me I'm live. I just don't have the screen live. I see us still live, so hopefully we're still running live. An error in the playback. I guess the video player on YouTube's messed up, but everything else looks smooth and pretty. So I guess we're okay. We are going to keep finishing. It says that we're streaming. The timers are counting down. So I think we're good. I'm wondering
then we come up to the next segment is your favorite segment.
Oh, you know what? Why are we frozen? Why is this? Okay, get out and frozen here for a minute. There we go. And that's all I got to say about that. Whoops. Now I'm dropping earpieces. Anyway, so we're backstage again with MJF. He runs into the Acclaim. They're still trying to get MJF to join. They give him a trash bag and say, hey, here's the 2 conditions. You got to scissor us and wear this outfit. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Miguel. And MJF opens the trash bag and says, hell no. He gets up and walks around the corner, and here is Slapnuts and his group of slapnutty fucks. Yeah, so they're all like, come on, we're here to help you. It's Chef Jared. It's Sanjay Dutt. It's Jay Lethal. It's Satam Singh, and it's a female whose name I won't even mention because I don't even want to give her the time of day. But anywho, they're trying to get MJF to join. MJF looks at them, looks at the bag, looks at them, looks at the bag, and then we're backstage with Roderick Strong screaming the name of Adam. Adam again. So we got to get this doubled up in the middle of the night. Bennett calls Cole on the phone. Cole and him talk briefly before hanging up. Strong calls Cole a jerk, and that is it. And now we are into the main event for the evening. We have the book.
Say something real quick before we go into the next segment.
Okay.
Listening to Roderick Strong go, Adam, Adam, is more scary than me watching The Exorcist last night.
Adam,
that will give you nightmares for sure.
Adam. I'm like, I'm over this crap. Like, they've killed Roderick Strong's character for most part. For me, I'm like, the neck brace thing.
I don't know what that is anymore.
1 is the loneliest number.
8. Jesus.
Down at the end of Lonely Street in the Heartbreak Hotel. Oh, I've been so lonely, baby. I've been so lonely, baby. I've been so lonely, I cry. Yeah.
When it's turning into Elvis Idol.
Hey, well, Roderick Strong comes off with the crybaby, broken-hearted ex-girlfriend, ex-lover, ex-something. So, there's where we are. Do you feel lonesome tonight? Anywho. So we got Bullet Club Gold, the team of the Guns, and, of course, the Stray Bullet, Juice Robinson, and the Switchblade, Jay White, representing Bullet Club Gold against MJF and his mystery partners. But before MJF comes to the ring, we get the Acclaim, because everybody loves the Acclaim, and Anthony Bowens, no, everybody doesn't love the Acclaim. I don't love the Acclaim. I'm sorry. You've ran your course a little too much. Tonight really ran its course with everything. I'm sorry. I don't love the Acclaim. Do I think they're very talented? Yes. It's not about talent. It's just about the way it's spoken and the way it's coming off. I'm just kind of over it. So the Acclaimed are out here, and then we get MJF, and he comes out in pink tights and a shirt that has pink scissors on it, and he has a pink and plaid scarf. So yeah, MJF is going to team up with the Acclaimed. Again, we had a good solid match with all these guys in the ring. It was really good. We saw Daddy Ass beat on his little ass boys, and everybody's got to love when you talk about that. Eventually, the Switchblade, Jay White gets the pin on MJF, which is probably the right call here leading into it. MJF does not get his title back. After the match, they look like they're going to hit MJF with the title, but Max Caster jumps in the ring, takes the title shot, and Bullet Club Gold leaves the ring. MJF's getting up, and this is when Daddy Ass gets in his face and says, "You're going to scissor him." He took the hit for him, starts yelling at Max, and so Max finally agrees, and they have a 4-way scissor party in the middle of the ring. And that's what we end the show on. I don't think MJF should have scissored. I think it's a little beneath the character he's supposed to play. I think it would have been far better if he didn't. I mean, he got yelled at by Daddy Ass to do it, and I'm just like, this is what MJF is. Usually when MJF gets yelled at, he's like, F you, I'm out. Like, it didn't work for me. It was a good match. I'm glad Jay White won, and he still has the title. This still leads you to believe that, Jay White's going to win at Full Gear. Still could possibly happen, but it may wind up MJF winning, which I think is the more likely. But, I mean, at least in this storyline, it's making make sense. We see Jay White can pin MJF, and now he has a couple more weeks to rub that in on MJF. And he still holds the belt. So, a good match with all these guys that were in it for what it was. You have two of the two bigger comedy groups. The Guns are kind of, they've become more serious as comedy as they were before, but they're still kind of a comedy tag team. And then you got the Acclaim with Daddy Ass, which is just a comedy trio, which is fine. They are really good talent, but it's kind of like the jokes and the stuff kind of run their course to a point. I know most people find it fun, and everybody loves the Acclaim, and that's fine. That's what you can do. Again, this is Value Wrestling, where we fully believe you can have your opinion. You have every right to your opinion. We don't have to agree on everything. I just tell you how I feel about it, how I see it, and you don't have to agree with the way I see it. I just tell you how the way it sees it. Me and the man don't agree on everything. We can go back to 90s wrestling when he was a Bret the Hitman Hart fan and I was a Shawn Michaels fan. And if you wanted to see the feuds and the fights over that, too bad we didn't have that on camera. But I'm just saying, everybody's welcome to their opinion. I'm just kind of, if you love the Acclaim, more power to you. Are they talented? Yes. A lot of the things I say, it's not about the talent of the wrestlers in the ring. A lot of it's just the storyline or the gimmick that they're playing. And I'm not necessarily a huge fan of comedy wrestling all the time. And the Acclaim, it just kind of worn me out for what it is.
I would say, even in present day, we don't always agree on things. So no. It is what it is. Here's a question I wanted to pose to you that I had said to you earlier, off air. I don't know who the devil is. No clue. There's different ways they can, different people that can put in that role. What if the other three members that they put to beat down MJF, what if that's the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass?
You mean beat down Jay White?
Yes. So, did I say
you
MJF?
said MJF, yeah.
My bad. I meant Jay White, sorry.
Yeah.
Because they've been selling this so hardcore with Max trying to get, with Max Caster getting MJF's approval. Like, yes, anyone who knows indie wrestling knows that they have crossed paths and been friends or whatever. That's only if you're an indie fan like that, though, that you really know that. I mean, they've acknowledged it a little bit on air, but it is what it is. So what if, like I said, 3 of the 4 men that beat down Jay White are the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass? How would you feel about that? And it might give them a reason to be more serious.
Oh, it'd be great, but it doesn't make sense because it doesn't fit their character personality necessarily. Unless you're pulling the wool over our eyes, but then you're giving a lot of credit to Tony that he can pull off something that good. And Miguel, yes, I will acknowledge that you said that MJF is the best heel. They are hurting MJF's character. I totally feel that they're taking away from MJF because he's an amazing, great heel. And if he's not going to be a heel playing that tweener with that baby, it was great with Adam Cole. It made sense. Max not having any friends and Adam Cole being his friend and Max playing this fine line. It made sense. Now he feels kind of lost, and I just feel like there's certain elements like tonight. I don't think MJF should have scissored because I feel that a little outside of where his character is, but he did it, and it is what it is. And everybody's gonna have their own opinion, and that's fine. But if it was them, it would be interesting if they can play it out and make it make sense. I don't buy. I can't say that would be the number one. It would be a good shock. It'd be a good twist. But I don't have enough faith in Tony Khan to think that, and I don't think Tony Khan wants to lose his comedy boys because they have their place in wrestling. Whether I like it all or not, they have their place in wrestling. They have a fan base. They sell merchandise. The scissor crap is over for whatever. I guess it's over like when we liked DX and we all did our crotch chop back in the day. Now it's scissoring, and to me, I guess I don't get it, or I just feel like it's a real underneath joke. But everybody has their own opinion. You can enjoy what you enjoy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm a fan of their talent. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens are amazing talents in the ring, and Billy Gunn is what he is. He's still got a lot to give and does some good stuff, but also, how much longer does he really have to give anything before that runs out? But, it is what it is for now. I really wish they would start building somebody else to get in that trios match because you don't really have any other trios out there but the House of Black. I don't think we're going to see the Elite be going after those trios championships right now. So I'm like, who do you have out there?
Been built.
Yeah, there's not another trios team out there right now. I mean, I guess you could do like Juice Robinson and the Guns for those titles if you really wanted to push that storyline. So, I mean, maybe, but right now I'm just kind of nah. It is what it is. I'm just I'm not a huge dying fan here, and tonight's show to me was just kind of an average show. It had some good points. It had some good matches, but by the end of the night, I was just kind of like, nah. I don't think.
Let me ask you this. Yeah. Looking back at the poll, when you're judging a show as a whole, are you looking at it more for, like, were there good matches? Are you looking at it more based on storytelling? Or is it kind of a balance between the two for you?
I think for me, I'm looking at the overall, what were the matches and how good were the matches? And then what is the storytelling? What is it that we're building? Does it make sense? Where are we going from here? Is this an end of a feud? Is this the beginning of a feud? Are we continuing storylines, and does it make sense? And does it keep me engaged? Does it make me want to see more of it, or am I just kind of like, or do I feel like it's more cringe? And tonight, I mean, the opening match was great. That was the probably the best match of the night for me. And it's what you would expect between these two. And we've gotten away from Orange Cassidy doing a lot of his kicks, and it's not as often as he's doing those kicks the way he used to. So when he does do them, it's a little more entertaining, and it's every once in a while. But overall, they've kind of moved him up where he is serious. He feels serious. He feels like a legitimate champion and somebody that you have to take serious in a match. So I felt that was good. The Jon Moxley storyline, I'm kind of like, and then we got the first bit of the MJF Acclaim, and I'm kind of like, I saw where this is going to go, and I'm like, this is what we're going to build to all night. We're going to leave a suspense, but they're not really leaving you in suspense if you can see the whitey on the wall. Then we got into the 6-man title match, right? Yep, and that was just, it was good. I think they make Heyman look so stupid dropping out of this. It's just kind of like, that was dumb. And then the Matt Jackson thing, it depends on where that goes, but to me, it's like, yeah, it just made it look bad. And then we got the Mogul Embassy winning. They get back to titles, really not doing a whole lot, and it's like they really didn't give the Elite anything to do with the titles. It was just kind of like they held them, and this feels like a storyline that's all set up to push Hangman and Swerve Strickland, and everybody else is kind of actually the bystanders in the picture. The Adam Copeland thing was a disappointment for me because I don't think him and Christian should have touched any time at this point.
We're in agreement there.
The Matt Menard, Angelo Parker was a feed to Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega, which just brought us back Paul White, which I'm not really interested in seeing Paul White in a match. I'm glad it's going to be a street fight, not necessarily wrestling, so he can play a role. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. The Will Nightingale Hikaru Shida match was good for both of them, but again, we lost the storyline with Will Nightingale and Sky Blue. It was just like last week you were trying to sell this Poison Mist and like there was something here to buy into, and this week Will Nightingale's not even. Yeah, and she's not wearing the paint, and then you already had Sky Blue turn on Julia Hart, and it's just kind of like, okay, so what was the hard? Why did you have 2 segments last week where you made a point to make this relevant to us. Like there's something here. And then the very next show, because that would have been Rampage, and then Collision, they did that. And now we're on the very next show, and you're like, okay, we're over with this. And then, of course, we got the main event, which was a good main event, and it is what it is. But I mean, we knew who he was going to team up with. They told you all night who he was going to team up with. I think they could have done other things. I would have rather seen him team up with Joe. If Adam Cole's not there to be his friend, can Joe at least be there to be his bodyguard or friend? We know kind of what the storyline is, but it would add a different dynamic on what was going on. And then I also feel like MJF's just kind of floundering. And again, I feel your TNT title is more important than your AEW title. And I feel like your international title and AEW world title are like real close. It's hard to decide which one's better. And I disagree with that. I think your world title should always be your number one title, should be presented as your number one title. And the other titles are what are supposed to get that person to whoever's wearing it to make them look good so they can get to that next level. And right now, Christian's doing the best and outshining MJF. And I think that's a little sad when you're building MJF to be the pillar, the face of the company going into the future. And I know everybody's like, oh, MJF's already re-signed. He's re-signed with everything going on. MJF ain't leaving AEW. I'm like, I don't know if I'm MJF and I don't feel like I'm getting a spotlight, but not necessarily the spotlight. I don't know, because I think MJF would be huge over in WWE, and there's walk in the door feuds for MJF.
Now let me ask you this: would it have been better tonight instead of the Acclaimed if it was the Kingdom and Joe, for example?
Mm-hmm. If Joe would have been involved, I think it would have been a little better. If it would have been the Kingdom, it would have been a little different, interesting, because then are we building this friendship between, is Roderick Strong really swallowing his pride and trying to be MJF's friend, which would lead more to the devil side of things. Like, are they the other parts of this devil stuff, Adam Cole? It leads me more to buy into that story that they are a part of it than the Acclaim. The Acclaim just seem to be there because they've run this a gimmick. And again, is this going to continue on? Maybe, but I don't feel like there's anything you can do with Max and the Acclaim from here, except maybe some of the cheesy storyline, like we helped you once, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to see it. But if you would have put Taven and Bennett with Samoa Joe in this and Roderick Strong out the outside, at least you're still building into the Adam Cole storyline. Now you're looking at, are these the guys that were helping Adam Cole as the devil, or are these the guys helping MJF as the devil? It leads into the storyline. Is MJF going to come out and be the heel that's going to lead the new kingdom, and they're going to turn on Adam Cole? Or is Adam Cole going to lead the new kingdom and turn on MJF? At least you're building into that storyline. And it makes more sense, because you would think, okay, MJF may not want to be teaming up with these guys, but at least in this moment, it would make a little more sense in the bigger picture of things. Like, I could buy more pictures than the Acclaim. The Acclaim are just kind of like, it felt cheesy, and then MJF scissoring to me, it's like, it's beneath him. It's just like, that's not, he's supposed to be this fine line. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I know everybody has the right to your opinion. You don't have to agree with me. Again, it's not about necessarily the talent that's in the ring. It's just the way I see the storylines. And if you're going to tell me a storyline that's going to make sense and all the pieces fit together.
I think that's our criticism of Tony Khan's booking in recent time.
Yes.
Make it make sense.
No, that's all I'm saying. It's got to fit together in some realm. I get that you've been building the Acclaimed, and we kind of seen it coming that it was going to be either the Acclaimed or the Kingdom with Roderick Strong or somebody in some form of formation. But I would like, just using the Acclaimed, I don't feel there's anything you're going to do forward except this weird, strange relationship between Max and Max, which is just kind of, it borderlines on this weird, creepy thing. And you're like, I know they have a history. They're kind of giving us a tidbit of information on, but it's kind of like, that doesn't feel like it leads to anything. Like,
right.
Where if you put Joe in there, then you have Joe who's already made the deal with MJF. MJF is going to use Joe. Joe's going to use MJF. That fits into both their characters. Then you're always wondering, when is Joe going to turn on MJF, or will MJF turn on Joe before Joe can turn on MJF? So you're back with the same story you kind of had going with Adam Cole. You put the Kingdom in there, at least with Taven and Bennett. You put two people in there. They're doing the work for Roderick, who's trying to be friend Max to do what he's trying to do for his buddy Adam Cole. And then you don't know who's with that, at least you can suspend disbelief and going, well, who is screwing who? You know, is Max in bed with the Kingdom, or is Adam Cole in bed with the Kingdom? Is who's who and who's what? When you put the Acclaimed in there, you're just kind of like, okay, it's a funny ha. This creepy little weird storyline with Max having a thing for Max that we don't really understand, because we know Anthony Bowens is the one that, you know, it's not Max. So we're like, it's weird, that storyline of what's the picture they're painting. So to me, I think the other option would have been better. I got to get a better headset. I'm trying to work on that because these things don't ever want to stay in my ears anymore. Anyways. Is there anything else?
If they use Joe, then we get the whole protecting his investment bit.
Exactly. It's just, that's the better storyline. You have Joe protecting MJF because he wants to beat MJF for the title. You have the Kingdom there to do what they're doing it for Adam. You know, you can say you're doing it for Adam to befriend, and it makes sense for the other storyline. So, but anyways, if you're here, we had 13 viewers saying that's awesome. We thank each and every one of you that has been in here. If you're still here, make sure you like this, subscribe, share this out. Oh, and definitely subscribe, join, and become part of the Value Wrestling family, because every one of you that subscribes helps us grow, and we appreciate everybody who has subscribed. And if you're watching this later, please make sure you subscribe, like this video, ring that bell for notifications, because we go live multiple times a week now. We review every major show. The only show we don't really cover for AEW is Rampage right now, unless something happens, but we'll talk about that on Saturday night with Collision. So me and Paulus, Mr. Clarke, here will be back on Friday after SmackDown to review that show. Then we'll be doing ourselves in on Saturday, as we will do a review with Mr. Z. Miguel Z, our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, will be here with us on Saturday, probably afternoon, for a Crown Jewel review, because that is coming on Saturday. So we'll review that, and then me and Mr. Clarke will be back later that night to review AEW Collision. Speaking of Mr. Miguel, make sure you go over to Spotify and check out the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound, where he uploads the current events going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and very soon he will be bringing in his feeds to the YouTube page. You can find him right here on the Value Wrestling also. But go ahead and check him out on Spotify, because he's over there breaking down everything about New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yes, sir. We know you, sir. And we thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you for being here. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to give us time to hear what we have to say. So, Mr. Clarke, is there anything you want to add before we wrap up and call it a night?
I think that's pretty much it.
All right. So again,
although, you know what? Punk all this Christmas stuff. I know we got that holiday coming. But you know what? Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. We got that coming up first.
Well, they don't have any Thanksgiving songs, so all you can say is, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let the Yuletide gay.
Keep pushing me, sir, and watch me create the song itself.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha ha ha. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
It ain't happening tonight, but something's coming.
Okay, Mr. Grinch. We're gonna get you in the spirit. I will reach out to a friendly partner in crime, and we're gonna get that Grinch to be full Christmas spirit this year.
Woo! Careful with how you phrase things, Miguel.
Yeah!
Marty,
Get fired twice in the same show.
I don't know. Only Marty and maybe Jane can get away with saying certain people's names because they're so delusional. And if you don't know who they are, go check out the Value Wrestling page, because you have Messiah's Wisdom with Marty Richards, and then you have Jane with 100% Mark. So if you want to learn more about who Jane and Marty Richards are, go check out those videos and all the other wonderful videos on the Value Wrestling YouTube page. We do have shorts, which we break down every day. I break down this date in wrestling history. I tell you about some of the big hot moments in wrestling history on this day from the past. Yeah, well, he was talking about Thanksgiving. Okay, well.
That was still too close to someone else's phrase.
Yeah. You should have just said, feed me. Gobble, gobble, gobble. You know what, Miguel? Okay, I know. Look, next time you're on the border of getting fired, if you do anything else to get fired, you're going to be required to dress up like a turkey on video. Yes, sirree. Oh, we do thank you for being here, being part of the show. We love each and every one of you. Make sure you subscribe. And as I always say, when we get everything finished up, wrapped up, and we're ready to move on, it's always, wait, you know what? There's something we got to do just for the fun of it. Are we ready for a little bit of dance party? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like I always say, till the next episode, it's time to say bye. And we're going to get out of here. Until we see you next time, we'll be back Friday with a SmackDown review, so make sure you are there for that. And until then, peace. This has been the value of wrestling.